Good morning, Warriors. This is Vigor Warriors 2, back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. We're back talking. This is July 16th, Saturday. Didn't get a chance to do a video yesterday, so I figured I'd do one today. And I'm going to see later today if I can try to do an exercise video. I promised for months now that I was going to actually do one on the Fountain of Youth exercises. So I'm going to actually go ahead and do that. And we're going to focus on that. I'll hopefully try to do one tonight or tomorrow morning. All right. So thank you for comments. Always questions at Curly. Thank you. I'm saying Curly. Curly and as well as Curvy. Curly and Curvy. Thank you for your comments. And Curvy, I always enjoy reading your comments, so I appreciate those. And I'm glad it's really kind of helping a lot of people. So that's the main goal that we have here. But continue to please let me know how we're doing, and if we're doing things that are helping your information. I know there's a lot of people out there talking about our journey now, and so hopefully we get up higher than the 1% Club. But I'll probably keep talking about the 1% Club just to keep us motivated. But I see a lot more people talking about this and seeing the benefits, and that's a good thing, especially for males who have struggled with this for many years now, and against this whole revolution that the real man is coming back, like we talked about in the previous video. So I want to focus on a nice comment and a question from Canyadigget. So thank you, Canyadigget. I appreciate you're contacting me and going through the channel a little bit here and kind of focusing on this. And what Canyadigget's talking about is focusing on the idea that a lot of anxiety loops and things like that, mainly because there's a lack of masculine energy balance. And balance is a good word, so that kind of triggered me to kind of talk about this a little bit. So let's go ahead and focus on this a little bit. So the idea that we're focusing on, let's take a step back a little bit, because as we talked about, everything is a level of energy. I'm not focusing as much now on the way people look, all those external things we see. We're kind of really focusing on the internal energy that people have. And we talk about the energy that people have. What we're really kind of focusing on is, are people really using their energy and transmuting it in a way that's positive? As we talked about before, you can retain all you want, but if you don't really go ahead and have that inner transmutation, that you're moving that energy within yourself, you're not going to get the full benefits. And it could at times seem like it's going to be off balance. And that happens a great deal. So when you talk with situations and look at situations, the masculine energy has to be positive. It has to be something that you're keeping as much as possible. Now, of course, you're going to have seepage as people do, whether it's at night or you're releasing at times, or stress. You also have it from a stress level as well. All those things can happen because of a lot of draining, emotional draining or physical draining. Those things you have to watch out for. But the key is, and this is for Canyadigget, the key is as the longer you're on your streak, and the longer you build this into a lifestyle, then you're able then to maintain a balance across the board. And this is what I found after 47 years of going back and forth and not really doing what I should be doing. If you're spending time focusing on yourself, your goals, not focusing on women, not focusing on other types of things that drain you, focus on things that are building you up. And if you do that and you're focusing on building yourself up, you're going to have more of a balance when it comes to your masculine energy. Now, you have to continue to keep that balance. Now, one of the benefits of that balance is the fact that you don't have the same types of fears. So you're not as scared. You're not scared to approach people. You're not scared of dealing with problem situations. You can deal with those type of things because you have more of an inner confidence in yourself. And this starts with the whole idea of retention, keeping your seed, keeping your energy, and then using the same behavior to enhance your things by a good diet, exercising, being able to read and get information, and to take cold showers, all the things that we also add to this discussion when we talk about this. But Canyadigget brings up a very good point, because I do think that sometimes you do feel lost out there, and especially if you're not on any kind of long streak. And by long, I'm not talking about like my streak over 700 and 40, 50, 60, 70 days. I'm not talking about over 2 years. I'm talking more about even a 30-day, a 90-day type of thing. I saw benefits right away once I hit 3-4 weeks. I mean, probably actually 2 weeks, 14 days is when I saw benefits. But I was so unbalanced, can you dig it? That I was really off balance for a long time, and I didn't realize that. And now, even when you go off of monk mode a little bit, and you have those type of sensations, you still have had a long time of a habit now to overcome that and build that masculine base. See, what you're trying to do is build a masculine base of energy. So it does feel like, and I know I went through many years of this, that you're just confused. But just remember, as you lose your energy, you're losing part of your strength. Now, if you choose to lose that energy to have a child, now remember, that energy you have is so important in building a child. That can tell you right there all you need to know. That tells you how strong your masculine energy is. But if it's not balanced, if you don't have a foundation of a lot of it, then what you're going to do is lose it. It's going to be siphoned off, and you're going to struggle with just the basic type of behaviors, and you're going to become, you're going to succumb to just normal types of fears. I was scared a lot, to be honest with you. When I was on this 47 years, I was always scared of this or that, and now I have very little type of worry. I'm trying to get closer to God. I have a long way to go, and I have setbacks here and there, and God and I, as I go meditate, I go through this. I take a power nap as I meditate during the afternoon for 30 minutes, and then I meditate at night, and meditate and read the Bible in the morning. Those type of things are just habits you build after a period of time. But what you gotta do is focus on yourself. The problem we have, and we'll talk about this when we talk about feminism and other types of things that influence, men a lot, have an impact on men. A lot of times men are so wrapped into this idea that in order for them to be important, they have to be having, sex and intercourse with all these beautiful women all the time, and all those type of things. And what ends up happening is it's draining you out. And nowadays, with the feminist movement and everything else that we talk about, the men are very confused and not knowing how to behave. And so, what they're doing is kind of putting the woman ahead of them. And that's the worst thing you can do. You can talk to a lot of women, and they may say, oh, they want, to be, someone, a nice guy, they call. Well, a nice guy really is someone who's like a simp to them, and they don't really have respect for that person. And I've seen it over all these years that the respect really comes more from someone who is a challenge in one way, but someone who's got their life together, who's moving ahead, who's trying to better themselves. They may have issues themselves, but they're bettering themselves. And no person, male or female, will have a problem with that. But that goes back to this attitude then, that you have to kind of look at yourself first. correct yourself, make those corrections, and continue doing it. So a few years ago, I had decided that, one of the corrections I needed to make was to go on streaks and to have this the rest of my life, And once again, like I said, I'm back in 10 days on monk mode. But I fell victim of that, so I'm going back to a new streak of 250 for that one. But I'm still on my streak for no fap and all the other stuff. But still, it's kind of hard because when you have thoughts and ideas, especially during the summertime, it's funny. I'm watching some of the high school cheerleaders over here, and they're trying to advertise for a car wash. And so you look at the girls, and they look so young to me now as I'm 61 years old. But the thing is that they're out there holding the sign, but they have, just shorts on, and you could see a lot of their they're all dressed the same way, and that's the whole type of thing. So they're trying to attract people in that way. And I think that this is how society is, especially in America. Now, you go to other countries, like I said, women are not dressed the same way, like in the Middle East, And there's a reason for that. And there's a reason that women have coverings on their heads at times and, coverings on their bodies, because they realize how men are. Men are very visual, and this is how we get ourselves in trouble. We're very visual. And if we're seeing people walking around that have half their clothes on, even though they're advertising for a this or that, that's drawing those people in. And that's a temptation you have to be careful of when you come to this masculine energy. Be really careful of that type of thing. So, but can you dig it? I think that's the whole key to it, that you just have to kind of keep trying. Don't give up. Keep trying to build a streak, one another. It's very difficult when you're younger. I understand that. I went through 47 some years of that. So I understand, or 45 years, whatever I did. I understand how difficult it is. So I'm one that, I'm not a good example of how you can do it. I finally did it, but it took me a long time. But my idea would be to take one step at a time, one day at a time, and try to do that and then go from there. And you'll get better as time goes on, and you'll start building your energy back up. And you won't have the kind of fear and those type of things you're talking about, the anxiety loops. Okay? Thank you so much. A shout out to Canyadigget. Let's pray for our brother. Let's continue to work together, guys, to overcome these temptations and things that we're seeing. And let's continue to battle on. And if you guys have questions, Canyadigget, if you have any more questions, hopefully I answered some of this. At least I tried to. And if you have more questions, go ahead and kind of send those to me. And I'm happy to kind of talk about those in a video if we need to, or just respond back to you as well. All right, guys, enough for today. I will try to do one on the Fountain of Youth exercises by Kendler over the weekend if I can. If not, I'll talk to you guys probably definitely on Monday morning. All right, guys, God bless you guys. Take care and battle on.